All right. So mic check, mic check. Andrew here. Welcome to Music Theory Logic. I've been trying to hop on this live every Thursday. I think I'm going to get on again later tonight. I'm still getting a hang of managing this all. It's just me in the studio. But a lot of times I've been doing these making it from scratch videos where I build a beat completely from scratch, and I encourage you to go check those out. There are now 26 of them. If you find a beat that you like from that you want me to pick back up on, let me know. They're all super rough. I just have made them in, the longest one's probably 40 minutes, and there's one or two that I've worked on in multiple videos. But today I thought it'd be fun to show you a track I'm working on for my artist alias. I want to thank everybody who's streaming IDK What to Do featuring Bailey Gel. I greatly appreciate you. Yeah, playlisters, thank you. So let's go ahead into this Logic session. Now, I better finish this song pretty quick because I have it labeled, I had this called 2022 style. Now, this is at 152 beats per minute. This is electronic music. This is somewhat aggressive, somewhat crazy. I have been a huge fan of drum and bass for a long time. As d.r.u, I've made some stuff that people might consider drum step, but I've never made drum and bass. This is not drum and bass. It's not really fast enough to qualify as drum and bass, but I'm borrowing a lot of the ideas from that, and I'm going to go ahead and just play this for you. Let me know if you have any questions.
Someday it will all make sense.
All right. So last night, the last addition that I got was I added this background vocal that I got from Splice. It was in the key of C minor. This song is in the key of D minor, so I used Little Altar Boy from Sound Toys to move it up 2 semitones or to the note D so that it's in key. It sounds like this on its own. And I had this idea that it would be kind of cool to try to sample that earlier in the song with sort of a vocal chop. Now, on a side note, this perhaps is some of you might find this interesting, but a lot of the music that I've written, especially the more successful music, I have entered this zone. Some might call it flowing, but I'm just I get to a point where time doesn't exist. I'm just so in the zone that I will come back to sessions and feel like someone else wrote that, if that makes sense. So I had a bounce for this 2022 style. I do that a lot. I put them in, finish a track, I'll bounce it down. I will put it in another folder so that when I'm about to start a session, I can hop through different ideas when I have time to get creative. And I found this idea, actually, I do this too. I make notes when I'm just in the mode thinking about it and listening to the music, stuff that I should change. And I had all these ideas for a drop, but ironically, when I opened up the session, I had this full this drop that I had written and built these sounds before. And so what did I basically do? I started trying to experiment with what was going to come after the drop. I did a little mixing. I was fixing some like popping sounds that from chopping audio that I had. And then I found that vocal. I think it's going to go a long way. Let's just hear what this sounds like at the intro. Cool. So I could definitely use some of those elements, but let me show you a few different ways that we can sample this. So one thing that I used to do is I would take different little sections of it, maybe get rid of our silence, and then I would focus on like the rhythm and the tone of the sounds. So what I mean by that is that they're all going to be the same pitch that they were, but I can start putting them into time. So like I can do like an eighth note feel here. So if your Logic ever does this, mine does it a lot when like I'm filming or I'm in a big session like this. The dragging function is not working as it should, so I just outsmart it and do Control C, Control V, or Command, I should say, since I'm on an Apple. All right, cool. So then I'll take that and bounce it into place just so that it's a little bit easier on my computer. We don't have to worry about the little altar boy. It's in pitch. Nice. Now I'm going to turn on low latency mode because I'm going to attempt to use Melodyne. Now, Melodyne is a pretty pricey pitch effect plugin. It allows us to customize and custom control the pitch. So we first hit transfer and get this vocal in. All right, it thinks about it. It puts the notes in, and then we can zoom. One of the weird things about using Melodyne is that the kind of works like using a program within a program. So all of your different key commands are going to be slightly different. Now, we've got some harmonies happening in this. So one of the things I used to do is I used to just kind of take my format tool. So So that's there, and then I could change the formats, something like keep going. Now I could actually start changing the pitch. Let's see here for the second one. I'm showing an A. We could take it instead to B flat. That last one going up. To a C. The formats is kind of what's messing with this part. So let's take them down. All right, so I'll keep that fluid. What I like to do is I like to bounce it in place. Any of these plugins that are like really hard on your computer, it's really helpful to do that and then just turn it off. One thing that you can also do in Melodyne, because again, this kind of works as its own instance, we can save the MIDI. So I could call this 2022 style vocal chop MIDI. And so if by chance I lose that setting, I can recreate that at a later date. All right, so let's take off low latency mode and hear that with our chords.
Someday.
Again, I have to use the Control C, Control V tool. Let's take that and filter it.
Someday. Making sense.
Cool. So I don't really like it in this intro section. I feel like filtering, we could maybe like make it really, really subtle. But in the background here, I also want to. So another way that I might experiment, like option 1, vocal chop. All right, and then I'm going to create an instance of the EXS24. I'll chop out that first MIDI. All right, so you hit edit, then you take that file and you drag it in. Let's see. There we go. Now it's defaulting to a C. I'm gonna write a D. D1 is fine. When we exit, you're always gonna wanna save that file, vocal chop 2022. All right. And get rid of that. Let's mute our option 1. So now basically what that does is it creates a playable instrument that's going to repitch that sample. There are lots of different versions of this, some third-party options. I've been looking into getting a third-party sampler. So there's our original sample, and now we could write MIDI to it. Now, we could easily take something like that and literally combine it with the other sample. So like I could chop this, mute this section.
Someday it will make sense.
Cool. And when I'm doing that, I really try to just flow, just be creative, and I don't try to like make hard judgments until I have fresh ears when I'm coming back to an idea. But there was building a vocal chop. Now, for fun, let's take that MIDI idea and just hear what it sounds like on our drop. So that instrument, like within the drop, I could definitely picture manipulating that one vocal. So I've made breakout videos about using samplers to repurpose samples. But if you're a splice user, you make beats and you have lots of samples, you can drag them into samplers and then replay them. If you're in Ableton, you have built-in sampler, FL Studio built-in sampler, Logic built-in sampler. So that is a big technique. Cool. So I am really working to have a fine time that I do these lives, a set time each week. So let me know in the comments what time works for you. I finish up with my my client work tonight around 7:30 p.m. Western Pacific time, and I'm thinking about hopping on and just kind of like leaving it on while I'm working this evening. My goal with doing this live streaming is to bring you in the studio with me. Perhaps you'll learn from me, but I also think I can benefit a lot from having you people here to help tell me what you think of stuff I'm doing, offer ideas, maybe collaborate, so many different options. So I'm really thankful for all of my subscribers. I'll finish out playing this from the beginning. Thank you for hanging out. If you find this helpful, you'd help me out a lot by subscribing. I need to get to the 1,000 subscribers so that this channel can get monetized. And those of you that are already on board, I am really, really thankful. So here it is.
Someday it will all make sense.
Cool. Definitely going to work on those other elements. So thank you for hanging out. Once again, my name is Andrew. I link to most of my music below. Anywhere you listen to music, if you're at d.r.u. Dream Reach Unite, you will find me. Thanks for hanging out. Till next time, feel free to leave questions in the comments.